Welcome back to Brown's franchise. I'm recording this one right after I recorded the last one, and we're going to look to make some trades here at the deadline. I think I'm going to blame the quarterback for all the sacks because I'd rather him have. I think we're going to stick with the pass. Beat the Eagles pass for 300 yards. Didn't get any type of morale thing there, so. We have to set our scouting national focus. And I don't think we're actually going to go with any of these things that would give us a boost. I think we're going to go defensive end. I mean, we have corners. Wide receivers, not as big of a need. And we're not going to do the weekly strategy yet. We're actually going to take a look at the sliders. That's not in user settings. It's actually in franchise settings. And I showed when I changed the sliders before, we're going to put our quarterback accuracy up to 65, pass blocking up to 65, wide receiver catching up to 65, run blocking up to 65. Ball security, we're going to leave where it is. Pass defense reaction time, go up to 65. Interceptions, I think I'm just going to put it up to 60. Pass coverage has got to go up. And tackling has got to go up. CPU is, we're just going to take everything down by 5. Interceptions, we're going to leave where it's at. Actually, we'll take it down by 5. We're going to leave tackling. We're actually going to put tackling back up to 50. And the special teams I don't change. Injuries. Trying to remember which way I need to move this. I'm going to bring fatigue down to 45. Trying to remember which way I need to put this injury slider so that I have less injuries. I think I need to bring it down. We'll bring it down to 25 and see what it does. But now we're going to look to make some trades. And I saw an interesting one possibly before I started the video. We might look to and we're going to trade Nick Chubb, I think. And the Bills will give us Greg Rousseau, a third, a fifth, and a seventh in a third in 2025, a fifth in 2025, and a seventh in 2026. I don't love the picks, but I do like possibly trading for Greg Rousseau. Jerome Baker, a first and 2/3 is interesting. That's really interesting. That's a first in 2026. I actually really like something like that because I think we might be able to get more out of it. Jerome Baker. Can we do a second and a third this year? And maybe someone on the defensive line. Christian Wilkins. That would put us over the cap. Okay. I'm going to throw in another pick just so this won't possibly at all go through. They have the number 2 pick right now. I'm going to go first next year. Just so that when I add somebody else, this won't go through. I want to see how close it would be. We need to throw in somebody to make the cap work. We could give them Landon Collins. That's not close. Now, if we take out the first round pick, Nick Chubb and Landon Collins, for Jerome Baker, a second, a third, and Christian Wilkins. That's pretty close. If we take out the second round pick and we do a second next year, how close is it? It's really close. I think what we're actually going to do is do a fourth, a fifth, and a fourth next year and see how close that is. That's pretty close. How close is it if we take out the fourth next year? Ooh. And this is a tempting trade. If we give them a fifth next year, and I'd be willing to just take out the fifth round pick, just a third and a fourth. Because Christian Wilkins and Jerome Baker, that's an immediate upgrade on the defense. That's still pretty close. I'd like to have the third and the fourth. We could give them a sixth round pick if that helps. That's really close. Take out the sixth and give them 4 next year. We could actually, because we don't have a lot of picks next year, we could actually take a third next year and a second next year. That's actually really, really close to going through. It wouldn't give us more picks this year. But if the Dolphins end up being really bad, they might value those. Well, I would like more picks this year, actually. A third. How about a third and a fifth? The third and the fourth was really close to going through. I'd like their second round pick, though. How about a second and a sixth? That's pretty close to going through. If we take away the sixth, I'm just trying to make this work here. We'll give them a 4 next year and a 4 in 2027. The 4 in 2027 doesn't have much value. How about a 3 in 2027? That's really close. We throw in a 6. Will they take it? That's still really close. If I take out the future 4, I don't know what I can do here. I'd really like their second round pick because I think it's going to be a really high pick. It's almost like having another first rounder. How close is this? Just like that. That it's pretty close. If we throw in a fourth and a third, oh, we already have the third. Uh, we don't have a lot of picks next year. We could throw in another player instead, but why don't we try that? And we might even be able to get even more picks out of it if we do that. Not really anybody I want to trade. We could trade Elijah Moore. They're not really interested in him. We could try to get their third as well. That's going to make it really close. About as close as we already were. Move up a future 3. Give them both 4th round picks next year. That's close. Okay. Instead of their 3rd round pick, how about a 3rd round pick next year and a 4? That's practically there. If we take a 4th round pick next year, so we're swapping 4s next year. It's official. Nick Chubb, Landon Collins, Elijah Moore, 3rd in 2027, 2 4ths in 2026 for a Jerome Baker, Christian Wilkins, a 2nd round pick this year, a 3rd and a 4th next year. And what does that make this defense look like? Well, and we actually, I don't know if we already knew this, but David Patterson has superstar X factor at safety. I don't think we knew that already. And when Amosu Cormella comes back, we're going to have a lot better time at linebacker. Might look for another left outside linebacker. Our defensive line's looking a little better with Christian Wilkins. We really need somebody on the inside. But Martin Emerson's still hurt. Did get Denzel Ward back this week. And the only guy left that I might be looking to trade I don't want to trade Wyatt Teller, but I might look to trade Joe Bitonio. And what could we realistically get for him? Rondale Moore, a 2nd and a 6th. Mozzie Smith, a 4th and a 7th. Devon Achane, a 5th and a 7th. I would like to have Devon Achane. Nolan Smith, a 3rd and a 4th. That's tempting. I don't like the 3rd and the 4th. especially because they're picks next year. I have Jamison Williams on my Lions team and my Patriots team and Malik Cunningham franchise. We're not going after Jamison Williams. Kyle Duggar in a 7th. Tank Dell, a 2nd and a 5th. That's a 2nd in 2027. And Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's on the Vikings, a 3rd and a 5th. I don't like looking for a receiver here. Nolan Smith could be interesting. We just traded with the Dolphins. And they're probably looking to trade Devon Achane because they have Nick Chubb now. We could maybe make something out of that, but I'd rather take Nolan Smith from the Eagles. I'd rather bolster our defense. And Nolan Smith, and he's got 3 years left on his deal. He's not a rookie anymore in the game. But who else could we possibly get? Do they have a halfway decent defensive tackle? Jalen Carter. They're not going to give us Jalen Carter. We're going to throw in a pick in case this were to go through. A 2nd. But there's no way, right? Yeah, it's not even close. Well, if you take out the 2nd, yeah. I'd actually rather have Jalen Carter than Nolan Smith, but it's still not close. We're not getting Jalen Carter. Not unless we throw in a 1st round pick, but I'm not really that desperate to get Jalen Carter. Nolan Smith, what did they want to give us? A 3rd? I would take a 2nd and a 3rd. That's actually fairly close. Who's their backup defensive tackle? I didn't even really pay attention, but they've actually got several good defensive tackles. Jordan Davis. Fletcher Cox is on the last year of his deal. That's really just a band-aid. He's gonna regress. Who are their other linemen? Josh Sweat. He's also on the last year. He might be easier to trade for on the last year of his deal. We don't have the cap room. By $9 million. Dalvin Tomlinson. That wouldn't change it by that much. We can't afford Josh Sweat. What if we put Dalvin Tomlinson in the trade? They'd give us Nolan Smith a 3rd next year, a 4th this year, and a 7th. The Dolphins would give us Jalen Phillips and a 4th this year. That's interesting. Let's see what the Dolphins want to do here. And the Dolphins are projected to have the number 2 pick. That might be our pick. I don't know. I don't know what their record is. They seem like they have a really good team, so it might actually be our pick that they have. I wouldn't think it would be, but we'll take Jalen Phillips. They don't have a good defensive tackle. Don't really have. We did trade Elijah Moore to them. What would it take to get Jalen Phillips and Devontae Chain? That almost goes through. Okay. Um, I was not expecting that. They don't have a second round pick anymore. We took their second round pick. We'll give you a sec. We'll take your second round pick next year. Actually, I would like to pick up a third. I'd like to pick up a third. And one of their biggest needs is defensive tackle. We'll give them Dalvin Tomlinson. And it probably wouldn't take much more to make this go through. A fifth and a future fifth and a future sixth. Not really good enough. A sixth this year. A fifth next year. And a fifth in 2027. That's really close. I think if we're willing to give up a fourth round pick next year, this might go through. If we just take out the third, can we just do this straight up? We can. Joel Bitonio and Dalvin Tomlinson for Jalen Phillips and Devontae Chain. And things are going to be looking a little bit different this week. We got Devontae Chain. Kadarius Toney is going to be our wide receiver 1. We're a little bit more depleted on the offensive line, but we're still fairly solid. Benson's back from injury. Should find out his dev trade after this game. But the real big difference here is on the defense. We got Jalen Phillips. We got Jerome Baker. We got Christian Wilkins. We're a little worse on the inside. But we're better with Christian Wilkins on the outside. Could we look to maybe get a defensive tackle for one of these later picks? I would feel better about it. We're not making the playoffs this year. I don't think it's even possible. But for this second round pick, we could get Dexter here. They would give us Xavier Howard. He is 31 years old, though. They'd give us Fletcher Cox in a fifth. He's also in the last year of his deal. And I don't really need like an elite defensive tackle here, but somebody better. If we could get Ed Oliver somehow, they would almost take a second round pick for Ed Oliver. If we give him the I love Ed Oliver. I have him in Lions franchise. He's good. A second and a fifth next year. They almost want to take that. Give him the earlier fifth. They're not quite there. I would give up a 4 next year. A second and a 4 gets us Ed Oliver. And we're going to be cooking now. I know this is an extremely long start to this video, but we had to make some changes. We have Ed Oliver. We have Christian Wilkins. Our defensive line is much better now. We've got the X factor at safety. We've got Jerome Baker. We've got Jalen Phillips. When Omosu Koromoa comes back, we'll have him. Don't know how the cap room is going to go to be able to keep this team together. Probably not real well. But some of these guys are on a little bit longer deals. And we should be able to at least keep them for a little while. May have to trade some of these guys in future years because the cap room is not going to work. But we're taking on the Eagles. We're 0-7. And we'd pretty much have to win out to make the playoffs. Which might be impossible, but not really going to rule it out yet with all the changes we've made. They have us taking Gabe Baker in the mock draft, who's a speed rusher out of Duke. He's around 1 to 2 projected. There's a playmaker wide receiver who has F catching traffic, F release, and B deep route running is projected to go in the first. This has been such a long start to the video. Do we want to do throw it short? I think we're going to do throw it deep. We are going to do the training here. Try to get Kilmore up to superstar dev. Try to get a little more experience for him. Not starting out well. If we don't complete this pass, probably going to restart. That's a catch. I don't like some of these routes they're giving us. Okay, we're going to have to restart because there's no way we can get gold now. Got it to Kadarius Toney. He's in for the touchdown. Ringer. And we traded Elijah Moore. We do have our stud tight end back this week. He's pretty good. Picked off there. Might be hard to get gold now. Probably should have thrown that sooner. We're gonna restart again. I hate to take so long to do the training, the practice. I keep calling it training because you got the training camp drills at the beginning of the season. Probably shouldn't have thrown that. We got bronze. Kadarius Toney, who is probably better in the game than he is in real life. Pretty prone to drops in real life, but I think he's probably better in the game. And he could still develop in real life. He's a young player. If he cleans up his problem with dropping the ball, I don't know how he picked that off. I don't think we can get gold here on this now. Really just need to get the multiplier up. Nobody's open. Nobody. Having some struggles here. And if we're having this much trouble in practice, how is it? I thought he got that. How's it going to look in the game? How's it going to look in the game when we're having this much trouble in practice? Our defense is going to be improved. They want us to try to throw for 300 yards. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we need to run the ball. I think that might have been a little bit of the problem in the last game. We really didn't run the ball enough. We got down pretty quickly in the last game against the Giants. And I don't know what to say. We got down quickly against the Giants, and it was not. I don't like these routes at all. That one got open. We've got the gold now. And that should seal it. That's a drop, but we've already got gold, so doesn't matter too much. That's an interception, but it's only going to take off 100 points. Ringer with a catch, and we did get gold. Would love a dev trade upgrade. Don't think it's going to happen. Did not. but a little more experience. Hopefully, no injuries today in practice. We did at the beginning of the video turn injuries down, which I think makes less injuries. Hopefully, I'm doing that right. If I'm not, let me know. I'll fix it. I don't think it would have. Would it have the? We need to bring Ryan Stonehouse back. We don't have any cap room now. Our cap room is absolutely horrible. Okay, well, we may not have a punter next year, and I don't know what to do about that. Our cap room might get better in the off season, and we could sign a punter, and we could restructure some deals and we're taking on who are we? We're taking on the Eagles today, aren't we? Yeah, we're taking on the Eagles, and they still have Jalen Hurts, and hopefully we can get some pressure today. Made some big trades. They're going to get the ball first. And if we can get a stop to start the game, we did change the sliders just a little bit. We made the CPU just a little bit worse. And if this is too dramatic of a difference, if we come out and blow out the Eagles, oh, I you know I might change the sliders back a little bit. But 14 touchdowns, 2 picks. I think we're probably going to have some trouble today against the Eagles. But we've got a much better defensive line now. We got Ed Oliver. We got Christian Wilkins. DeAndre Swift with a loss of 2 there. We got Jerome Baker and Jalen Phelps at linebacker now. That's a catch. Just floated it over the top. They have Laviscus Chenault on their team. Laviscus Chenault. There's a blitz. That's a drop. That's something we didn't see a lot last week. And we want there to be drops sometimes. Receivers do drop the ball. It's not realistic when the opposing team is catching absolutely everything. And there's a sack. Jerome Baker, his first sack as a Brown. Just shot up the middle. And that's part of that is our defensive line is better. And Oliver. And there's another sack. Who was that? That was Mitchell. I think we blitzed him there. And Ringer's going to be returning a punt. Something we didn't see against the Giants last week, a punt by the other team. Ringer just going to run up the middle here, take it to the 41-yard line. We're going to get pretty good field position here. Kilmer coming out. I'd like Kilmer to win Rookie of the Year. I don't think it's going to happen because he's thrown 20 picks. Unless I get like 40 touchdowns, I just don't think it's going to happen. Let's run inside zone with Devon A-Chain. Picks up 6. Let's run a screen. A-Chain picks up the first down. And I don't know how much better our offense is really going to be today. We haven't changed a whole lot on offense. Our tight end is back from injury. And we will find out his dev trait at the end of this. He has a catch. It looked like it almost could have been picked off. It's 15 yards. We're going to run an RPO here. I think I'm probably just going to hand this off. A-Chain picks up 3. We'll run the jet touch pass to Bell. Hopefully the blocking's alright on this. Don't get a first down, but we pick up a few. I'd like to run 4 verticals here and then just check it down to A-Chain. Unless Benson really gets open. And I think we're going to throw it to Benson. Tipped. We'll take the field goal. Absolutely going to take the points here. And we have the lead. The under siege scenario wants us to throw for 300 yards today. I'd just like to win the game. Get us our first win. If somehow we could run the table, might be able to sneak into the wild card. We're 0-7. I don't really see it happening. If we maybe we'll lose one game down the stretch and go 9-8. Maybe we still make it into the wild card. I don't know. That's going to be intercepted by Denzel Ward. And he's going to run it back pretty far to the 22-yard line. And glad to have him back on defense today. He was injured in practice last week. Taysom Hill going to be our second tight end on this play. And I do like signing Taysom Hill last week. We're going to go jet sweep here to Taysom Hill. Didn't really work. Actually lost a yard on that play. Going no huddle here. Take off up the middle. Do actually get the first down. He took a big hit on that one. Don't want him taking another hit. We're going to run with Devon A-Chain. He gets nothing. Has only had 3 rushes today, but seems like he's had more. He's open. We can't get it to him. I think he took it a little too far outside there, and I think we're going to have to throw the ball here, 3rd and goal from the 11. Going to look underneath to Benson here. He catches it, and he has a touchdown. And this is the first time in a long time that we've had a 2-possession lead. And the problem with trading for all of these guys is we're probably going to be in some sort of cap hell after this. At Oliver, pretty much unblocked. He only gets a half a sack on that one. And we've already sacked Jalen Hurts 3 times, and he's just not getting rid of the ball. He took off on that one, picked up 2 yards. And sometimes when you play these scrambling quarterbacks, they have issues getting rid of the ball quickly. And if you can get pressure on them. And Denzel Ward with another interception. And into the end zone. That's a pick 6. I think because it was a pick 6, I'm actually going to go for 2 here. Even though the extra point would make it a 3-possession game. I'm going to throw a little RPO. That I like going for 2 there on a defensive touchdown. Up by 16, they would still need 2 2-point conversions to tie the game. And our defense has played well. I think that's part of that is turning quarterback accuracy down on the sliders just a little bit. We only turned it down, I think, by 5, but gonna use her Ed Oliver here. Try to. That's a drop. Wasn't really a good throw from Jalen Hurts. They're gonna punt. And we really haven't had to go the length of the field too much today. Our only touchdown on offense was when we didn't have to go very far. Benson open, but I don't know if we can get it there. Doesn't catch it anyway. We've only had 47 yards passing so far. Might look to throw it deep to Devon Achane here. See how he does as a receiver. He got bumped. We're definitely throwing it on 3rd and 10. I hate to just throw it 3 times in a row and then it's incomplete and we pump the ball, but that's what we're gonna do. No reason to go for it when we're up by 16. Probably should have run the ball at least once there. I mean, I don't really like running it on 2nd and 10 sometimes, but maybe should have run it on 1st down. Blitzing here. And the Eagles really haven't done a lot on offense today. Thrown a couple of interceptions, punted a couple of times. It's going to be the end of the 1st. It's 16-0. Browns. And if you look at the offensive numbers, we don't look that much better than them. Passing, we've got about 30 more yards than them. Rushing, we've only got 5 more yards. And it's really just been the turnovers. A pick 6 by us. Jalen Hurts throwing the pick six, and Jalen Hurts picking up a first down. Looked like read option there. Patterson made the tackle, our X Factor rookie safety. And he had X Factor right out of the draft, so was definitely a good choice. He's more of a run support safety, but we can make him look to make him a little better in coverage when we get some upgrades. And that's a catch. And the Eagles are coming down the field, which I hate to see, but I like to see that our slider changes haven't made an extreme difference and that things are still competitive. Looked like he might have had the touchdown, but they're going to say it was DeAndre Swift was down. Jalen Hurts is in the zone. And we're very lucky that they don't have the tush push in the game. It's actually 3rd and goal. That play that they ran the ball on, I think, was 2nd and goal. Oh, we're going to get a stop here. 4th and goal. Are they going to go for it or take the field goal? They're going to go for it. Looks like they might be running the ball here. Would be surprised. If it's play action, they're probably going to get it. But they're actually just going to run it right up the middle for the touchdown. That's fine. They're not going to chase the points yet and go for 2, which I would say is smart. You really don't need to go for 2 when, you know, there's no real reason to go for 2. Down 16 in the first half. There's really not. Now, if it were the 4th quarter, might be a little different. A-Chain picks up 7. We're actually going to run an end around here. I like that end around every once in a while. Sometimes it works. If the blocking's there, it definitely works. We're going to launch this deep. It's out of bounds. Don't know why we thought that actually had a chance. And I think short passes would... We might actually run the ball here. Switch to inside zone. A-Chain goes all the way for a first down. He's got 5 runs today. Feels like he's had more. Nobody really looked open on that one, but Kadarius Toney catches the ball. Run no huddle here and run inside zone again. A-Chain picks up 4. And he's really an improvement over Chubb. Lower overall, yes, but he's younger. He's going to develop. Chubb's at a point where he's probably going to start to regress pretty soon. I like just running the ball on this RPO. We only get 2, but it is positive yards. We're going to run the ball again. And I'd be okay with kicking a field goal here if we don't pick up the first down. Unless it's like 4th and inches. 3rd and 6. We're going to go no huddle here. Just look for a short pass, maybe. Nobody really looks open. We're going to take off. 4th and 3. They want us to go for it. And if we're going to go for it, that's the 2-minute warning. If we're going to go for it, I'd like to throw the ball. They still want us to go for it. We're going to go spacing switch here. Hopefully somebody gets open. I throw it to Benson. That's a touchdown. Trevon Benson will kick the extra point here. And we've had a good day here. Part of that is having Benson back. A-Chain's been fantastic. He really hasn't had a 20-yard run or anything, but he's had a few nice runs. Our defense has been better. Hopefully we can hang on to the lead. That's wide open. They're going to go no huddle here. They may come down and score here. Hurts almost sacked and gets it away. Gets 5 yards and gets out of bounds. He's in the zone. I don't know what his X factor ability is. I don't know what a lot of I don't pay too much attention to the abilities. I'll set them and forget about them for a while. Should probably look to change our safeties abilities because I don't know what they're even set to. Mitchell with another sack. Probably should have called a timeout there. Wasn't thinking about it. Yeah, we'll return this. Thought about letting it go. Not sure it would have bounced in though. We're going to be at the 30-yard line. 3 timeouts here. Might be able to get into field goal range. Looks like they're going to come after this. And if we have time to throw, no, they're actually going to drop out of it. But Kadarius Toney is open. And we're going to call timeout. Going to probably look for Benson here underneath. Oh, actually, Ringer is open. Call another timeout. I'd like something here where we can throw it into the end zone. Throw it to Ringer. Go levels corner here. Try to get it to Benson. If he doesn't get the touchdown, might be able to get out of bounds. Benson's got another touchdown. That might be 3 today. We're going to kick the extra point. And we've been a little more balanced today. Couldn't really run the ball on that drive. Just trying to go right down the field. I can show after the game that it is still all Madden if that's an issue, but it is still all Madden. But obviously the team has improved. Benson's a big improvement this week over Taysom Hill, who was starting at tight end last week. They actually just ran the ball and called a timeout. They might look to heave it here. Just throwing it outside and not really getting anything. That's going to take us to halftime. This game is well in hand. And if you like the video, you can always like, subscribe. If you dislike the video, you can dislike it. Comment if you want. Kirk Cousins is on the Titans now, and they're beating the Vikings, who have Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield, a lot of the time, seems to end up on the Vikings. I think in our Lions franchise, he was on the Vikings. Pretty sure. He just usually seems to end up on the Vikings. I guess they don't usually end up bringing back Kirk Cousins, and Baker Mayfield's usually available. We're actually going to go run inside for the second half. And I think we're going to go defend inside run. We get the ball to start the second half. Don't know why Ringer's not returning these, but we get it up to the 26-yard line. We're going to run the ball. Try to run the ball more in the second half here. I wouldn't mind, since we're playing so well, trying to get the 300 yards passing for the under siege scenario that we have to do. And this is part of how we're going to try to get it. We're going to run our little screen here. Didn't get too much on that one. Go 4 verticals here. We're just going to check it down to A-Chain, who actually drops the ball. Up by this much, we're going to punt. Four yards is not always the easiest thing to get. I like to be aggressive, but give it up there, and then they score. They're only would actually make it a 2-score game. So with 2 points, I don't know who he threw that ball to. He is 10 for 16. Jalen Hurts has played well at times in this game. Good defense there. Gonna blitz here. Try to get some pressure on Hurts. As it looks like our superstar X Factor safety is in the zone. Did not matter on that play. I would think that probably would have. That did not take him out of the zone. Not sure what takes him out of the zone then. They're going to run the ball and pick up 4. 10 rushes for 41 yards is not bad by DeAndre Swift. Got Wilkins here. Threw that one into a crowd. We're going to take Drum Baker here and blitz. That's actually caught. That Jake Ferguson? – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – –– ––– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– ––– –– ––– –– ––– – They're just going to launch that one deep and caught by DeAndre Swift for a touchdown. They are already going to decide to go for two. They're going to go for two here to make it a 15-point game. We just absolutely whiff on the tackle. Probably shouldn't have switched over to try to make the tackle. If that were the CPU, he might have actually made the tackle. But it's 30-15 now. Didn't do much last time we had the ball. I'm gonna run it here with Devon Achane. And they have a very similar number of yards to us. The difference in this game has really been the two turnovers in the first half. Go play action here. Flip the formation around. Hopefully Benson gets open here. Looks like he might be. He caught it deep down the field. And we are actually going to know his development trait after this game. I know I already said it, but hoping he's at least superstar. Two superstar X Factor rookies would be insane. Gonna run that same play, and we actually fumble the ball. That was my fault on that one. I could not get the ball out. Throw it to Achane there. He catches it and actually picks up the first down. We're going to run the ball here. I really like going no huddle a lot. 12 rushes for 53 yards. 2nd and 1, we'll run the ball again. I really like running no huddle and for having success keeping that same defense out on the field. We're going to actually run a power run here with Jerome Ford. And he got tackled from behind. It's 4th and 1. They want us to kick the field goal. I think I'm actually going to go for it here. I think we're just going to try to flip it out to Achane. He drops the ball. He got hit pretty hard on that one. Not really upset we didn't get it there. A.J. Brown is hurt. Jogs off the field holding his wrist. Almost another pick there. If the ball had been thrown higher, probably would have been picked. Kind of a low throw. And a short pass there for a first down. Dallas Goedert, who has 6 catches for 55 yards. Blitz Jerome Baker here. Another 5 yards for Swift. Another first down for Jalen Hurts. Devontae Smith, who's been pretty quiet today, 2 catches for 25 yards. And looks like another RPO. And our safety, Patterson, the rookie, he just came absolutely screaming up the field to make a play. Like I said, he is more of a little bit of a run support safety. And he couldn't make the tackle on that play, couldn't get the play 2 plays in a row, but we are able to stop him and bring up a third down. And we've been better than them today on offense, but really not by a lot. The difference really has been the turnovers. That was a bad pass by Hurts there, and they're going to punt the ball. Again, I would like to try to get 300 yards for our quarterback today, and you never know. We could end up getting a dev trait challenge for him if we play really well here today. Hard to get those, but you never know. My computer just said my storage is low, so trying to free up some space before I finish the video. That way nothing happens and it doesn't save or something. I think that is actually a possibility. If there wasn't enough storage, it might just... I'm not really sure. I don't think I've actually ran into that before. I haven't been... I used to just record the videos with OBS, but haven't for a while, and was never at a point where storage was a problem when I did it before. Benson's open again. He's had a lot of yards today. We're almost at 300 yards passing. We can't actually get it on this drive. And if Benson only has star dev, or even if he has superstar, he's had a lot of yards today. He could be up for a dev trait scenario if he continues to do well. I was looking to throw it out to the fullback. We're going to call timeout. I don't like the formation we're in. Ran no huddle, and they want us to... We're going to run this shallow dig. It gets open a lot of the time. And it usually gets open when you have a good tight end. We're going to run... Actually, we're going to run it again. It gets open when you have a good tight end a lot of the time. Like when Taysom Hill was running it last week, it wasn't getting that open. We're going to go for 2 just because we can. Incomplete. Probably should have kicked the extra point there, because now we're only up by 21. I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to just go for 2. Would like to get Ed Oliver a little more involved. He's had some pressure today. I don't know how he got that. That was a big play. That was LaVisca Chenault again. And they've had some big plays today. He's got 91 yards. And they're coming right down the field, which makes me think the sliders are probably in an okay place. If anything, we could turn ours down a little bit, maybe, but our offense has been really good today. But we have a different running back. Our tight end is back. We really haven't had a lot of throws to the receivers. It's really been our rookie tight end as Jerome Baker comes in for to make the TFL. It's really been the tight end, kind of like we do in Lions franchise. Just throw it every play to Ray Clayton. Sometimes it works. And if he doesn't have superstar X factor, I would really like one of our players to win Rookie of the Year to get the upgrade. That's going to be picked off by Newsom on the RPO. Kind of just threw it right to him. They want us to run the ball here. Pretty much every play is a run. We'll run the ball and then we'll go no huddle. Because I don't think we quite have 300 yards passing yet. 62 on the ground today. We'll actually go with the RPO bubble, and hopefully Bell doesn't drop back too far here, and this actually counts as a pass. I actually fumbled the ball. I think I'm bring up 3rd and 12. If we can get about 8 yards here at least. Should we run a screen? We'll try screen. And if we can get at least 8 yards, that'll give us 300 yards passing. Can't pick up a block, but I is able to break the tackle. And that gives us 300 yards passing. Which probably could have ran it down to the 2-minute warning there. That gives us 300 yards passing, which means we did achieve our under siege scenario. We, in all likelihood, are going to win this game. They have all their timeouts, so if they scored quickly and were able to use their timeouts, they would still need an onside kick, but that's a catch. 289 yards passing today for Hurts. The 3 interceptions. They were looking to score a touchdown on that last drive before it got intercepted. And it looks like we're going to win the game here. There's only a minute left. It's just going to be a matter of how much we win by. If we let them score here. I'd like to keep them out of the end zone. They are going to take a timeout here. I would like to keep them out of the end zone. Don't know if that's going to happen. See, and that's the thing. Jalen Hurts immediately doesn't see anywhere to go with the ball. Just scrambles away. And there's no room to scramble away. They aren't going to take a timeout here. I think they did take a timeout on that play where he scrambled for nothing. Our safety Patterson knocks the pass down, our rookie. And they're going to go for it on 4th and goal. You might as well. 24 seconds left. Intercepted by Thornhill. And I don't think we put we might have put interceptions up by 5. I think we left it the same. Really just been some inaccuracy. That's going to bring up A-Chain's numbers. We're going to call a timeout. We're just going to run the ball one more time. I'd like him to have 80 yards rushing today. Just because I think that's realistic for what he already has. But 19 for 82. Didn't really need to take the timeouts there at the end, risk an injury, but we got our first win of the season. 36-15. We'll take a look at the stats here. Jalen Hurts, 4 picks today. Had a long of 28. Really didn't try to push the ball down. Threw the ball 42 times. That's a problem. They threw the ball a lot more. They actually had more passing yards than us. Ethan Gilmore, 21 of 30 for 302. 4 touchdowns. Had a long of 43. A-Chain, 19 rushes for 82 yards, 3 broken tackles. Didn't have a run over 20. Longest run was 14 yards. Swift only ran the ball 11 times. I think that might have been the part of the problem. Had a same long 14. If they had run the ball more, they might have done better. Kilmore had 2 rushes. Did fumble the ball once. I think we got it back. Dallas Goedert had 10 catches today. Led both teams. 107. Benson had 8 catches for 131, and he had 4 touchdowns. He's really good. Laviska Shenault, 8 for 111. A-Chain had 5 for 48. David Bell had a few. Kadarius Toney had a few big catches. All of our touchdowns were to the tight end. Ringer only had 2 catches. Defensively, we're just going to look at us. Cameron Mitchell, our corner, had 3 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. Jim Phelps had a few tackles for loss, so Jerome Baker. The difference today was really the pressure we got and the turnovers. Christian Wilkins with a sack and a half. Jerome Baker with a sack. Myles Garrett with a half a sack. A lot of guys with a half a sack. Denzel Ward had 2 picks early in the game. Greg Newsome had a pick. Juan Thornhill had a pick. We just played really well today. And I think the reason for that was our new players. This is going to be a long video already. Go hybrid on David Patterson. Awareness goes up. +1 speed, +2 man coverage. Jerome Baker has an upgrade. We'll go field general. +2 block shedding, +2 zone coverage. And we are now 1-7. We'll look at our scenario here. See what it did. Coach, you were intent on not letting the struggles from last game carry over this week. Do you feel like you got the response you wanted? Kind of. We left a lot out there and still didn't perform as well as we would have liked. It just means we have to keep working, and it's always nice not. 1,000 experience and +5 morale for all players. Your entire offensive line will have +5 pass block power and pass block finesse for the next game. That's really huge. Advance the week here. I was advanced the week before I go to in the video. And no dev trait scenarios. We go ahead and look at the weekly awards. And it's Denzel Ward. 7 tackles, 2 picks, and a touchdown. Our quarterback did not get the offensive player of the week because Lamar Jackson got it. Taking on Tampa Bay, they're 2-5. That's a really winnable game. We've got the same overall as them. Our defense has gone up to an 87 overall. That's going to do it for this one. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.